here we go. You know, I love this fat bike, so hitting up some local trail, 8th Street loop. See how much fun we can get into. Maybe PR today, I don't know. Just 8, so on a bit of the tired side. Didn't really have a long day at work today, so decided to go ride since nobody's home and enjoy. I'm trying to really break in this fat bike and see what it's capable of doing. So, for the most part, enjoying it. Whew. Yeah, that one's always a doozy. Whew. Yeah. There we go. Cruising on out. Telling you, see me posting all these fat bike videos, and I'm having the most fun I've had in a long time with these bikes. So some of y'all know I've bought a Trek Full Stash 8. It's a 29 plus with 3.0 tires, full suspension. That shit was fun. So it's being repaired right now, sitting in the garage, missing a washer out of all things, and so waiting for the part to come in so I can fix it, and at the same time just enjoying this fat bike, Growler, and yeah. Whew, barely made it. And seeing what this bike can handle, you know, a lot different. Since I got this bike, it went from a 4.0 tire to a 5.0. It's definitely getting some used to, because the 4.0 tire actually was a lot more nimble. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was it slid a little bit more. I mean, it still had the grip. It's the same tread pattern as the 4.0s or 4.5s I'm running right now, but yeah, it's a definite different type of feel of these tires compared to the other ones. These tires, man, they're so freaking big, and they hug the trail like none other, man. It's fucking crazy. So, I mean, they're rare slide outs and total control. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it from a fat bike, but it handles. You know, it'll monster through everything, just about everything. Whew. And a lot of people say they're not too in tune with the fat bike world, just because, you know, the old fat bikes squirrely. The old fat bikes used to be very heavy, and this bike, when I first bought it, and it came with the 4.0 tires, and I'm running 27.5. So originally it weighed in at 28 pounds. And now I've added maybe a pound-ish. So I'm thinking sub 30. And that's fun, man. Quite all right. I mean, I've had my other bikes, and all of them used to weigh 31 to 33 pounds. And they didn't even have big tires or all. So I can't complain. A little bit more tuning on the suspension fork. It's a couple tweaks, but I mean, you guys can see I'm flying through these trails. Now the only downfall of having a fat bike, not so much, I guess it's gotta learn how to control, is single tracks, like super single tracks. If a trail is only meant for a small tire, you're gonna follow that fucking that trail, either in it or above it. So that's when the whole thing comes back to control, and they didn't know how this bike really is. It's full suspension or hardtail and everything, but whew, it works. It works. Yeah. Thanks, SDMA. Somebody cares about our trails. I saw that last time. So, question. Running regular tires, you do a point and shoot and hope you get through an obstacle. Not the case with fat bikes. Fat bikes, you point, shoot, go straight the fuck over everything, hoping you don't crash. And don't get off your freaking handlebars, because you need every swinging grip to control the tires, because I mean, essentially goddamn truck tires. So, and yes, it's a hardtail. It's a Growler Nitro Stout Pro Carbon. It's a hardtail version, and you get it's like your regular fat bike. You're gonna get your bounce in there, because the air that's inside the tires is very open. So you got a lot of space a lot of cush, shall I say, in layman's term. And so you're like essentially going over every swinging bump, hoping you don't get bucked off, because it is a hardtail, and you're at a hardtail with the fat tires. You got to control your bike more. But they do have full suspension ones, so sometime next year I'll be getting me a Growler. I don't know, double stout. So there's a full suspension version. Even more epic trails once I do get that one. So take a break right quick. Okay, so I'll skip Pablo's shoot today. and go down to Old Mexico. See all these cactus? Fuck my life. Wish me luck. Oh, these fucking ruts. Oh, you brake ruts. Oh, you motherfucking brakes. You motherfucker. All these people braking on these fucking ruts. Fucking killing me. Whew. Damn. Mountain. Come on. Yeah. Woo. Time to bomb. Oh shit. Pick the motherfucking line. Stick with it. Cobbles. Shit. God damn it. Fucking fighting for everything, trying not to get bucked off. Oh shit, you got them brake ruts. Whew. That was fun. So we're on a little truck trail, a recreational truck trail, so nothing extravagant. But I do want to talk about fat bikes plus bikes, and in my experience, you know, the differences. So I went from riding a 140 to 170 mil travel, full suspension, 27.5 bike. If you're into that kind of world where you like jumping and like going super technical, riding those kind of trails, then it's good. I mean, more power to you. But myself, I'm a U.S. Army disabled vet, combat veteran, and mountain biking is the only thing I can do. So up until about a year ago, I changed my riding style and decided to go 29er. Now my first bike was a 29, was a JMX XL Pro 29er, and hardtail. Loved it, but you know, when you're starting out, it's a good beginner bike. Back then it didn't have all the new stuff, new upgrades and all that, so I upgraded. So I went to 27.5 and full suspension, all those high-end suspension. bikes. And like I said, up until a year ago, I changed up my riding style, so sold all my bikes. I don't jump much anymore because if I break a bone, you know, I can't afford that. So I got a 29er. For anybody who knows anything about Palm Springs, Palm Canyon Epic is a bad fucking trail. One of my friends, his name was Marco. We call him a goat because he can climb anything, and he's clipped in. He's like 55 years old. He's a fucking beast. Well, anyways, first time we rode Palm Canyon, he had an old Gary Fisher. I'm talking about old, like 97. And he was still goating it. Second time we rode Palm Canyon, he bought the brand new, at the time was a 2016 or 17 Trek Stash 7, and that's the hardtail 29er and 29er plus. So like I said, he's a beast, and he was pounding it. It was a hardtail, and he was pounding it through everything. That's when I said, fuck this, I'm done. I need to get a better bike. So beginning of this year, 2018, Trek, I was getting ready to buy that the Stash 7, and Trek magically came out with a full Stash 8. And me liking the option for full suspension, I said yes, finally. So I spent the money on a full Stash 8, which is a 29 plus, 130. Was it 130? Yeah, 130 mil travel, front and rear. I believe that's what it is. Loved it. PR'd, if anybody's on Strava, I PR'd on everything I've ridden with that bike. Very comfortable. It handled fucking the best, even better than my older bikes. Anyways, so about 2 months ago, Growler Performance Bikes, Mr. Willow, sponsored my company, Expeditionary Veterans Association, and he said he'll build us a charity bike. The bike I'm on right now is the Growler. It's a bike they built custom for me. It was our first bike out, and so I had, you know, specialty stuff that I asked them to put on there. So I was a bit worried because I never wanted a fat bike, but love it now. I'm so glad. I should have done this like a long time ago. But anybody who's looking for something more modest, and you're not doing Red Bull Rampage kind of rides, this is it. And if you guys watch my videos, you'll see that I fucking hit everything with this bike that I could possibly do in my own, you know, my means, and it can handle. This specific bike, it's a hardtail 27.5 with, at the time was at 4.0 when I got it with the tires. Now it's a 4.5. Yes, it's a big fucking tire. No, it's not hard to push. If you're used to pushing 29ers, this is pretty much the same rotational pulls or pedal strokes that you're doing with it. It may be a little bit harder to go up hills because you got fatter tires. That's a fucking given. But specifically, these bikes were built for sand and snow. Well, guess what? I live in Southern California. Ain't no motherfucking snow unless you go into the mountains, Big Bear, way off the coast. So Southern California trails are rocky, sandy, slippery, technical, you name it, it's there. Muddy, as you can see, I'm going through mud. They have it all. So Mr. Willow Glenn, was interested to see how I would do with this bike in Southern California, because there's not a lot of it, not a lot of fat bikes here in SoCal. Maybe NorCal and, you know, further up because there's always snow, but the Southern California scene, not so much. And when you do see a fat bike, it's on the sand and the beach, but it's not a mountain bike. They're like fucking cruisers. So be that as it may, he shipped me my bike, and I've been trucking everything San Diego and outside of Canada can throw at me. So for those that are skeptic about it, this is coming from number one, a disabled vet who's broken in all ways, more ways than one. I know road bikes, I ride road bikes. I've ridden enduro bikes, I've ridden downhill bikes, I've ridden cross-country bikes, 29 plus bikes now, and now a fat bike. To each their own, but if you want something cruise that you can cruise with and even get nasty when you need to, I'm telling you, fat bike is the next best thing. Just like how 29ers came back out in the scene in the enduro world, because they used to only be XC. Well, you know, fat bikes are now starting to shine. That's because the ability they have to mash and mob through every fucking technical trail there is. So believe me when I say this thing can handle it. This is a lot more nimble than my 29er plus bike, but it also has bigger tires, so it grips a lot better, but you have to control the bike a lot more because big ass tires. So I know I've been rambling on, but I had some people email me and PM me asking, you know, my feelings on, you know, 29 plus bikes and fat bikes. And since I got a fat bike, I decided to throw out this review. So if you guys have any questions, put it on the bottom of the page and I'll answer. I'll give you guys a message back. All right, hope I can help. So next session, snake trail. All right, here we go. Snake trail, baby. Snake trail. Yeah. Even without obstacles, still fucking fun. Yeah. Tight turn. All right. Oh. Bush whacking. missed it. Fucking hands. Oh shit. Oh, the helmet. Woo. Man. Oh fuck, I'm gonna get an eye blown out. Oh shit. Oh. God damn. That was fun. Motherfucking shit on my face. Food for thought. Never leave your mouth open. Whew. Burnt and wet. Holy. Oh, no. This was the best idea. Fuck it. I'm here. We got no snow, but we got some wet. Whew. Oh shit. I'm basically done. Yeah, a little bit of the A Street Canyon left, but I used all my energy up in the early in the ride. So I'm just gonna cruise it all out. So this is my outro. Nice little rim truck trail back to the house. All right, guys. See you later.